We're going to solve a quadratic inequality by graphing. And in this situation, you see this quadratic. The only way they could factor it is by using the quadratic formula, which is an extreme case. We like it when we don't need that, I guess. But anyway, when we do that, we come up with two values for x. And they plot them right there on the graph. And since this says that x is greater than 0, then it's all the portions of the graph that are bigger than 0. So it's all of this out here and all of this out here, and it's not the blue part in between. It's not this part of the x-axis in between, okay? All these x values that are blue, they're less than 0. They're less than the x-axis. Anything on either side is going to be greater than 0. And it is 0 there, see. Okay, so we're going to sketch the parabola, and you can see that it says x has to be less than that. Wrong color, I guess. X has to be less than the negative or greater than the positive, okay? So either left or right, but not in between. And when you see the problem that we're going to do, I suppose we could put a line at y equals -7, but I think I'm just going to add 7 to both sides, so I can do 0 as well. I'd much rather do that. So x squared plus 8x plus 7 is less than or equal to 0. Okay, less than, that sounds like I'm going to be everything that's below the x-axis, not above. And I guess including the dots, because it's equal. As long as it's equal. Okay, so we need to factor this. And I don't think we're going to need the quadratic formula. I think I can just say x plus 7 and x plus 1. And if you multiply that out, that is indeed the same thing. So I didn't need the quadratic, which is nice, because 7 times x and 1 times x, that gives me my 8x, right? You can see where that goes. It is the same. So it's not too hard to graph this. We'll graph it like this. And we will say, let's see, I'll put a dot at -1 for right there, -1. And we'll just call that -7 out there. Okay, -7. It goes with the plus 7 to make 0. And right in between 1 and 7, well, I can add them together. That's 8 divided by 2, that's 4. So right in between is 4. That's my axis of symmetry, right? I guess I'm kind of curious about where my vertex is. Where's my vertex? I'll plug in 4, right? So I'll say f of 4. That's my axis of symmetry. Maybe I better make that real clear. X is equal to 4, axis of symmetry. And I'll plug it in. I'll get 4 squared is 16, plus 4 times 8 is 32, and plus 7. Plus 7. Oh, it's a -4. Whoops. It's a -4. All right, let's try this again. I thought something's going terribly wrong. All right, so there's a 16, and then a -32, and then a plus 7. And so that's going to give me -25. Whoa, it's way down there. And let me say -4 here. Okay, so it's way down here. We'll call it down here, all right? And we'll go ahead and graph this. And what color? I guess we'll use the green. Oh, where's it going to hit? It's going to hit at 7, isn't it? So we'll say that this is about 7 up here on this y-axis. We'll call that 7. Maybe that's too much, but we'll call it 7. And so it's going through about right there. It's going down to the vertex. And then back up on the other side. Something like that. And we're interested in wherever this is less than 0. Well, the only time this is less than 0 is down here, right? Down here it's less than 0. So all these x values in here, they are the x values we're looking for. The x values out here more negative. Yeah, we're not interested in those. Look where that leads us. It leads us up here where we're greater than. We don't want greater than. And we don't want greater than over here either, okay? We don't want over there. So we're just going to have those values. So we're going to say our answer is, solve the inequality, okay. We'll start with the -7 idea, and we'll say that x is greater than or equal to, it's allowed to be equal if you recall, less than or equal to 0. So x is greater than or equal to -7, and it's less than or equal to -1. Alright, so those are the values of x that work because they're in between here. Okay, they're in between here. Little technical difficulty.